Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews, or as we call them here for the month of October, BrickWall. Hold on. Horror. I'm Dave, and tonight I'm going to be talking to y'all about a film called Studio 666. Before I get into it, I would remind you guys to go ahead and hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel, already subscribe, follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. We'll be the BrickWall podcast on Thursday. And whoa, it's tonight, Thursday night as the times of recording. I know, so listen. Here I am. No, we ended up at the time of this recording, we did not do a live BrickWall podcast episode. But just stay tuned, fans of the pod. We're gonna get more consistent with that, but just stay tuned. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Just stay tuned. So without further ado, let me get into it. So Studio 666, right, or 666 for those of you who don't like saying the 3 6s in a row. This is a movie that was very interesting to me, because what piqued my interest about this movie is actually the one thing I think is maybe a bit more divisive than you might think, and that is the Foo Fighters. So this movie is it stars the Foo Fighters, the actual band, the Foo Fighters, right? So Dave Grohl and all them, like, I don't know all the members of the band. Like, I know some of their music, like, oh, not some of the music. I know, like, the one song, "It's someone getting the best. All right, let me stop. I never do that again. But yeah, so this movie stars it's about members of the rock band, the Foo Fighters, who moved into an Encino mansion steeped in grisly rock and roll history to record their much anticipated 10th album. Once in the house, Dave Grohl, who is I guess he's like the drummer. Okay, I'm not even gonna say he's like the lead member of the band, because I don't know whose position in the band is what, but he finds himself grappling with supernatural forces that threaten both the completion of the album and the lives of the band members. So this is like more of a horror comedy. Like, it's not like a straight up horror comedy. But I think it kind of walks that fine line a little bit, because like it's funny, it's also a bit creepy. It's not like too much of one thing. So I do like that about this movie. But so just like the plot says, so Dave Grohl and the band, they're like, yo, we got to get this 10th album. Like, their label is like, the label head is played by, what is that guy's name? He sounds like Seth Rogen, but he's very clearly not Seth Rogen. Jeff Garlin. I know I had the name right. So Jeff Garlin's like, you guys gotta make the album. We need that freaking out. He didn't say freaking, he's a bad word, but you gotta get that album done. And so they're just like, you know, they feel like the band feels like they're like at like a little bit of a creative stump. They need some type of inspiration. So they decide, so the label decides they're gonna put them inside of like this mansion that they know has a little bit of a dark history behind it. So once they get in there, you know, Dave Grohl, being a musician, he starts to hear out different like ways to position the instruments. He's like, yo, if you hit this sound right here, you'll get like this really crazy echo and stuff like that, like the sound, the acoustics and all that good stuff, like all that, like he's really excited about it. So they go to work, you know, trying to get this album stuff done, and like literally within like the first day of them being in there, like one of the sound engineers, he like gets electrocuted and he dies. And they're just it's like a really crazy moment that happens. And so after that, more weird things start happening. Like Dave Grohl, he goes down to another part of the house and he finds this. So if y'all saw Evil Dead Rises, y'all remember that they had the record player that pretty much had like recordings of you know, the rituals and all different types of stuff. I bring that up because that's essentially what Dave finds down here. He hears like this song. It's like a rock song a little bit. It's like and like Dave's like, yo, this is good. But then like all of a sudden it stops. And Dave's like, okay. And then like, you know, weird supernatural paranormal stuff start happening, like the lights start flickering and stuff like that. And then like he gets caught up in the supernatural stuff. I'm not really going to explain too much like what happens. Just know it's really weird, and then that ends up corrupting him. And from there, the movie kind of goes like in so many different, like not so many different directions, but it goes like straight up kind of like horror possession type stuff. And one of the things I like is that it doesn't play it too silly, but it doesn't play it too serious at the same time. Like there were a lot of deaths in this movie that happened, and I was like, yo, whoa, like that's crazy. A lot of things that were happening, I was like, wow, that's like Dave's descent into what was happening to him. It was like it was step by step by step. It wasn't just like all at once, right? Another thing that about this movie that was really interesting to me is like this is a movie where you kind of don't know who's gonna survive, and that may feel like a spoiler, but it's not because it is. But no, this is one of those movies that was like you're not quite sure who's gonna make it to the end because like everybody's on the chopping block. Like you would think like, oh, well, of course, all the members of the Foo Fighters are gonna make it, right? I don't know. Do they? Like, do all of them make it? Do some of them make it? Who survives? Who doesn't survive? Like, is it everybody? I can't tell you, but I will tell you that the way that the deaths happen, the way that you know what I'm saying, the way that the kills happen, the way that some of the scares happen, they're all very interesting to me. Another thing I like too is like in terms of comedy, like it's not like I said, it doesn't get too silly. Like it's the silliest it got to me was this one part where they were they were like running around this pool trying to escape from one of the evil spirits, and so like they on one side of the pool like like because like you know like they're on one side, they're on the other side, so if you run one way, you know you're gonna have to like that. That was like the silliest it got, but that had me cracking up though. I really liked it. There's you see the dynamic, like I said, I'm not really a Foo Fighters fan. I know like maybe one or two songs, but I know for a fact I know one song. But this, I'm not gonna say this made me want to listen to the Foo Fighters, but it made me look at the Foo Fighters in a different light, especially Dave Grohl. Like I've seen Dave Grohl in stuff, like, but I mean, and I'm not gonna say like he's like a top tier actor or anything like that. But I thought that he did pretty good in this role. I thought the rest of the band, for what it was worth, they did pretty good in their roles. You had supporting cast in there. Like I already mentioned, Jeff Garland. You had, what was the other lady's name? Because she was like the realtor for the house. Leslie Grossman was in this. Whitney Cummings. And so in the opening credits, they say Jenna Ortega is in this movie. Do not get your hopes up, people. I'm sitting through the whole movie. I'm like, yo, Jenna Ortega's in this. Jenna Ortega's in this. Jenna Ortega's in this. Is there another actress named Jenna Ortega? Because I do not see Jenna Ortega. I'm not going to tell y'all what the role is that Jenna Ortega plays, but it's like they did not have to put her in the opening credits if that was all she was going to do. Like, they could have had that like as a surprise cameo or something. They didn't need to do that. And I saw something funny. I watched an Honest trailer on Beetlejuice. Shout out to Honest Trailers. They were saying how Jenna Ortega is already being typecast as the dark and moody. And I saw this. I saw her rolling this. I was like, yeah, I guess she is got to be a typecast like between Wednesday and Astrid and Beetlejuice. And I don't know. Scream is debatable. But a lot of stuff that Jenna Ortega does is like dark and moody. Like I don't know, that's just me. That's just sidebar. But overall though, this movie it was good. I found myself more invested in it than I thought I was gonna be, which I heard some kickback on this film, if I would say. I heard people saying like, wow, it's just like and this is before I even knew I was ever gonna have access to this film, which speaking of which, before I even get into that anymore, this movie did have like a run in theaters, I believe, back in February 2022. I do remember that. And where I watched this at was on Peacock. It's also, what else is it on? Yeah, I watched it on Peacock. It says here Hulu, but I never saw it on Hulu, but it is on Peacock. Yeah, I mean, I heard people being harsh about this film though, like talking about how the acting was bad or how the story might have been choppy. I'm not too sure. I can't remember all that, but I do remember one of the major things was like the Foo Fighters can't act, and I did not mind because I know that I'm watching a band who was known for making music, not making movies. Make a movie like my expectation for them to know how to act is low. Like I'm not looking for them to be freaking Morgan Freeman or Tom Hanks or Tom Cruise in here. Like, no, I'm not looking for that. I'm just looking for can you bring an entertaining story? And I feel like they bought an entertaining story. They bought an entertaining enough premise. I feel like they did what they needed to do in order to just like give an entertaining movie. And that I was entertained. I liked it. And there were some things that were a little spooky, just a little bit, like not like a lot, but a little bit. But I liked it. I thought it was good. Rating wise, well, hold on. Do I have anything I didn't like about this movie? I guess the same thing I did like about the movie, where it's like you don't know who's gonna survive. It's the same thing I didn't like about the movie, because it's like after a while, I was like, well, damn, y'all gonna do that? Like that's what y'all doing? Like, and it's not that was a bad thing. It was just like, I would have thought. Yeah, no, I think that's really it though. I think that's really like the only thing I didn't like about the movie. And the whole General Ortega thing, which kind of like weird. But in terms of rating though, because that's what I was getting. This currently has a 56% on Rotten Tomatoes, 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb, and we're talking about Letterboxd today, 2.7 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Me personally, and I can see where the low ratings come from, but like I said, I had a good time watching it. Some of the effects are cheesy and stuff like that. But I give this movie as a movie, I give it like a 4. I give it a 4.2 out of 5 stars. I'm not saying like it wasn't. I don't think it was a bad movie. I give it like a 4.2 out of 5 stars. In terms of a horror movie, it's more like a 3.9 out of 5 stars as a horror movie, because like I said, it's more of a horror comedy, so like the horror isn't really like there, but it's still there to where it's like, oh wow, this is like still like something you watch during a spooky season or something that's considered scary. But yeah, the movie was much better as just a movie. But that's all that I have. So yeah, like I said, my rating, y'all just heard it. I don't forgot my numbers. But yes, that's it. That's all I have for you guys. So Studio 666, check it out. It's on Peacock if you have it. And let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button. And follow us here on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe. And that's all I have. BrickWall Horror is still going. We're starting to wrap it up. We're in the end game now. We got a lot more to get to, but I'll get to it. And yeah. So until then, y'all be spooky, stay scary. Peace.